cheat, they steal, they don't play by the rules, and I've had enough. And so I would like this thing worked out. I don't care about the volatility. I don't care if Trump ratchets it up 25% a day.
What do you mean?
Wait,
Kevin, what do you mean you don't care about volatility if volatility has a direct impact on us as the consumers?
Because we have to fix this problem once and for all. It's killing us. It's killing small business in America. It's killing large businesses. All the IP these guys steal. You go back and look at all of their technological advancements, and this is a personal estimation, you're going to find source code from American companies back 4 decades ago. These guys don't play by the rules. And administration after administration, whether it be European or American, have not dealt with this. It's enough. We've got to solve this problem.
Okay.
Now, if we have to squeeze Chinese heads to the wall, as I said yesterday when I was testifying, so be it. I'm willing to live with the volatility to get the long situation settled. I want to compete in China. I want to open up those markets.
If what you're saying is carried out to its ultimate solution, you're talking about the fact that China, the regime, has a system in place that is able to manipulate the world, its currency, and everything else because of its totalitarian nature. Now, we can talk about what happened in 48. We can talk about what happened with Taiwan. We can talk about everything else. But Kevin, it's a reality. The Cultural Revolution in China killed millions of people so that people would remember that they had to remain silent. What you're saying is, I've had enough with China,
but you're good with it?
No,
you're okay with it?
No. On the contrary, but what I'm asking you is, what is the solution to dealing with China, a system that systematically violates human rights,
Here's how
and that
it
is
works.
able to use?
Well, you asked me, I'm going to tell you. You got Xi.
Okay.
He's the supreme leader for life. What keeps him in power?
Yes.
Keeping his people employed and fed. Now, when you shut down a factory, I think Janice Mackey-Ferrer just on before me, he's talked about this. When you shut down a factory, you put thousands, if not tens of thousands of people unemployed in China. They take burning torches, just like in a Frankenstein movie, up to the castle, and that's a bad outcome for the supreme leader. He knows that. Now, what's the largest consumer market on earth? The United States. Almost 40% of all goods consumed worldwide. What's the largest GDP? 25 or 26% GDP of the world? The United States of America. China needs the United States of America. We have the upper hand right.
Look, I really feel bad for both regular people and investors right now. This trade fight with China is tough. No one's denying that. Your retirement savings are going up and down, groceries are more expensive, and small business owners are stressed out. But here's the truth. Like it or not, we've already come too far. The trade problem between the US and China isn't just annoying, it's serious. For years, China has lied, stolen our technology, and hurt American factories while we kept buying their cheap products. Now, finally, we have a president who's standing up to them. And what we're going to give up now just because things got a little rough. Let me be clear. If Trump gives in now without getting results, then all this pain, stock market drops, higher prices, political fights, will be for nothing. Worse, we'll have to face the same problem again later. Only it'll be harder to fix. Wouldn't you rather deal with one big problem now than get hit even harder later? Because that's exactly what will happen if we don't finish what we started. Kicking the problem down the road. That's what Washington always does. But this time, it'll cost too much. And here's something CNN won't tell you. China is already struggling. Their ports are full of products they can't sell. Their businesses are stuck with too much inventory. That's not a prediction. It's real and it's happening now. And that's good news for us. That's pressure. That's power. That means we're making progress, as long as we don't back down. So yes, I'm hopeful. We've got the upper hand. But if we lose our focus now, we lose everything. Stay tuned. The next part of this conversation is going to be even bigger. Let's keep going.
We have the cards. Now's the time to settle this because we may not be the largest economy forever, but right now we can squeeze Chinese, and I'm talking about the government, not the people, to comply with the laws and get a level playing field between China and the United States of America. If it takes a little volatility, a little indigestion, a little acid reflux, I don't care. I want this thing worked out now because I can show you countless occurrences of where I've backed, as an investor, a company that gets to $5 million in sales with a consumer good or service on Amazon, on Alibaba, and then as soon as it hits 5 million, it's knocked off. They steal the IP, they manufacture it there, they sell it back into this market. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with that anymore.
That's the nature of the regime. So what you're calling for is a regime change in China?
No. We don't have to change the regime. Xi has to come to the table and understand he's got to work this out. Otherwise, there's a bad outcome for him. And listen, there's something else you should be aware of, and I saw this happen yesterday. It's now public information. This Paul Atkins guy was confirmed for the head of the SEC. And why that matters, I don't know if you saw that letter from Rick Scott, but he said, I'm not going to confirm you unless you agree to uphold the law that the previous administration did not uphold about delisting Chinese companies that do not abide by GAAP. There's billions of market cap right now listed on NASDAQ and NYSE companies that I have to compete with. I have to pay for the compliance costs. I have to be transparent. I have to abide by the law, and they don't. And they raise money with the same bankers I use, and I have to compete with them, and they're not being transparent. They have to get delisted. And Atkins, I guess, they must have had an agreement because he got confirmed. As soon as he gets sworn in, start delisting these Chinese companies. This law was modified to only give them 2 years to abide and actually comply, and they didn't. So delist them. Why should I have to compete with them? Let's squeeze them. Just keep going and going and going until they start.
Let's talk about what no one else seems to be mentioning. Kevin O'Leary's breakdown of why Senator Rick Scott is holding off on confirming Paul Atkins. And no, this wasn't some political stunt. It's about finally making sure we enforce a law called the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. If you haven't heard of it, it's a law from 2020 made to deal with, surprise, China. It says that Chinese companies on U.S. stock exchanges, worth about $1.3 trillion, have to follow the same accounting rules as American companies. Those rules are called GAAP, and they're the basic standards every U.S. business must follow to stay on the stock market. And here's the key part. If these Chinese companies don't follow the rules for 3 years in a row, they're supposed to be kicked off the stock exchange. That's not a suggestion, it's the law. And 3 years is already being pretty generous. It's like giving someone 3 chances to stop cheating before you finally break up with them. But guess what? No one is enforcing the law. Sound familiar? It should. We're seeing the same thing at the border under Biden. Rules are there, but no one is willing to actually follow through. That's why Rick Scott's stance matters. He told Paul Atkins, I won't vote confirm you unless you promise to enforce the law. Don't water it down. Don't bury it in red tape. Just do your job. And honestly, every American should expect the same. Will this fix all our problems with China? No, but it's a strong step in the right direction. We can't compete fairly if one side is following the rules and the other side keeps making up new ones. And the worst part? You won't hear any of this from CNN, MSNBC, or their so-called experts. They just complain and beg to go back to the way things were, even if that means letting China get away with everything, just to avoid saying Trump's strategy might be working. Like I've said before, this is the most important economic issue in America right now. Not inflation, not jobs. This, and however it plays out, it's going to shape our country's future in a big way. What do you think about Kevin O'Leary's take? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps. Thanks for watching.